Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for a moment of silence.
From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Today is Thursday, October 26th, and welcome to another episode of HHS In Depth. Let's begin with a quick overview of today's show. To begin, Martin Nicholson and Hunter Wise lets us know the effects around the school from the recent state Senate bills that prevent schools from charging student fees for courses. Next, Carly Swymiller lets us know how our special needs students are making a difference in the library helping Mrs. Akery. Then Sophia Virgilio will tell us about how some Homestead students helped build the first student-led Habitat for Humanity build in the area over their fall break. Later, learn about how the Interact Club participated in a wiffle ball tournament and donated their proceeds to the World Baseball Academy with reporter Grace Dickmeyer. And finally, Caroline Burns lets us know how to take full advantage of all of Fort Wayne's fall fun. We'll have all that, plus behind the curtain, down to the wire, and weather on today's episode of HHS In Depth. Hello, Spartans, and welcome into HHS In Depth. I'm Emily Adams.
And I'm Matthias Mendy. And Emily, we just returned from our fall break. How was your first week back?
Well, luckily it was a shortened week, but the weather definitely made it easier to come back.
For sure. I'm curious if the warm temps will stick around for tomorrow night's football game.
I am too. Let's ask our weather reporter Matthew Otten for an update on tomorrow's weather for the game.
At tomorrow night's sectional football game, we can expect temperatures to be in the 70s at the start of the game, and as we get closer to the end of the game, temperatures will drop into the 50s, so I would suggest that you bring a blanket or a sweatshirt as those temperatures will decrease. I'll be back later in the show to give you a full outlook of next week. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for filling us in on tomorrow's forecast, Matthew.
It should be a great night for football.
I know, I'm looking forward to getting outside while this warm-up lasts.
HHS In Depth, National News.
Moving on from the weather, let's shift our focus to the nation's headlines. President Biden has recently requested a $100 billion foreign aid package from Congress, with over half dedicated to the war in Ukraine, and the rest being distributed among other causes such as assisting Israel, border security, countering fentanyl, and combating child labor exploitation. President Biden stated that it's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations. He also says this will help keep American troops out of harm's way. In other news, electric vehicles are slowly taking over, with it being reported that 80% of all Norwegian cars sold last year were electric. And with that, renewable energy is also on the rise, especially in Texas, with it being predicted that renewable energy will overtake natural gas this year.
Thank you, Matthias, for the national news update. All the way back at the beginning of the school year, I'm sure some remember the surprise on registration day when their parents did not have to pay any student fees for this upcoming year.
Reporter Mara Nicholson and Hunter Wise bring you a story about how state funding has both positively and negatively affected our school.
This past year, a series of bills were passed which impact schools' funding. While most people just remember it as a lack of student fees on registration day, the bills actually contain so much more, mostly information about teacher salaries.
All the money that we receive from the state for basic tuition support per student has to go into the education fund. And the education fund funds approximately 98% of building level personnel, so teachers, instructional assistants, principals, nurses, counselors, anybody that's really in the building every day, it funds their salaries.
Every year, the state legislature meets in Indianapolis. On an odd year, they hold a long session which creates a funding budget that will be in place for the next 2 years. When they meet again in the next odd year, they assess the current budgeting situation and evaluate the extent to which it needs to increase or decrease for the future. For example, each student received $6,235 last year. The budget increased by $355 this year and will increase by an extra $91 next year.
Although the bill has a positive effect on teachers' salaries, it does take money away from different programs like the Spartana, ceramics, and fiber arts.
We've been told that we'll continue to get the same funding from the school, and we're hopeful that stays true. We're basically spending last year's money this year in the art department. Next year will really be when we start to get into kind of the uncharted territory. I'm hoping some of those opportunities stay, but recently we saw the Spartana is no longer in print, and I think that's kind of the first of many. The administrators in the building have been awesome and said that we don't need to worry and they'll have us covered, but it's just something that you hope in time that remains true.
Even though the funding transitions come with challenges,
The impact of the bill is not permanent and will grow and change over time to more positively fit our district. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Mara Nicholson.
and I'm Hunter Wise.
Thanks for the story, Mara and Hunter. Stick around, Spartans. We'll be right back on HHS In Depth.
Have you ever wondered who's in charge of putting away books and keeping our media center neat? Possibly some of our own HHS Spartans? I'll tell you more about that later in the show.
Fishers, Homestead, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. only on the IHSAA Champions Network. Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
There will be a call-out meeting today for girls interested in trying out for the gymnastics team. The meeting will be at 6:30 in front of the weight room. Enter through door 1. Please let the athletic department secretary know if you cannot attend.
Women in STEM Club is hosting a book drive through the end of October. Both children and adult books are welcome, and donations will be made to the Allen County Public Library as well as Kate's Carts. Check out the posters around the school for information on the type of books accepted. Please drop off donations in Mrs. Odell's room, room 906.
Seniors, please check the daily announcements for a link to important information about graduation date and cap and gown orders, as well as senior yearbook photos.
HHS DECA students, please see the QR codes in the hallways or visit homesteaddeca.com to register for your event this year. Stop by and see Mr. Dunn or Mr. McNeil with any questions.
If you've taken some time to browse or checked out a book around the library recently, you've probably noticed that there have been a lot of new student helpers fulfilling library roles.
Reporter Carly Swimiller is in now to tell us more about these awesome students.
Do you recognize the place behind me? Possibly where you go to check out books or even work on schoolwork? The Homestead Media Center is a popular destination on our campus. Our special education program has been doing some amazing things here recently.
Our special needs students started coming into the library for checkout, and it started one day a week. I feel like there's so many benefits to having them come in for everybody. One of the things I love the most is seeing their interactions with their peers when they're in here.
We were kind of just looking for jobs that our students specifically liked to do and had interest in doing after high school. They're not only doing things that they love to do, but they're doing them for the Homestead Spartan community.
Good time being together and miss how great we have.
Some students in the special education program have been given an even bigger opportunity in the library that will benefit them for years to come.
We have our interns that come in who do significant library jobs. What the types of jobs that we're having them do here is to kind of prep them for when they go out into the community.
They help Miss Acree with checking in and out books, adding new labels and new barcodes to the books, scanning those in.
Do you have any picture books you would like to donate to the Homestead Library to be used during story time and more? Those donations can be dropped off to Mrs. Acree at the front desk of the library. For any questions, email her at the email address shown below. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Carly Swimiller.
Thanks for the story, Carly. Wow, we have so many incredible students here at Homestead.
Absolutely. Not only are those students helping around the library, but we had even more incredible students giving up their time to help build a house over fall break.
Reporter Sophia Virgilio is in now to tell us all about it.
Most students don't have the funds to donate to causes of their interest. So for most of us, the best way to give back is to donate our time. Homestead senior Edie Laurie broke ground with Habitat for Humanity as the first student to lead a home build in the area.
I first got involved with Habitat for Humanity when I did a service trip in Mexico. I just absolutely fell in love with doing work there, and I wanted to be able to do it within my own community.
Habitat for Humanity doesn't often work with students due to U.S. labor laws that prevent the endangerment of child workers.
Normally, you have to be over 18 to help volunteer for these, but this is the first ever where they had 16 plus. So I was able to organize a student build, and we were able to get 2 coats of priming paint put on all the interior walls. And tomorrow we're going to work on painting the walls and installing hardwood flooring.
For Edie, organizing the volunteers and contributing to the construction of the house has been a fulfilling experience from start to finish.
I've really loved being able to work with Habitat because I've been able to help families firsthand and get to watch the impact that it has. So watching families get the keys to their new house is just an incredible experience.
Volunteering is a win-win situation. You better your community, and in turn, it betters you. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Sophia Virgilio.
All right, thank you for the report, Sophia.
As we head to a quick break, be sure to keep an eye out for your favorite club meeting at Homestead over the next week.
Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Even though it was fall break, last week was a great one for Spartan athletics, including a state championship for one pair. I'll bring you a rundown later on Down to the Wire.
The state finalist competition will be the band from Fort Wayne. Please welcome the Homestead High School Marching Band. Filmmakers, to Field, New York for Indiana State Finals Championship performance.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
Matthias, all the rain from the past week definitely made for a nice, quiet, and calm break.
It really did, and I hope it returns soon. Weather reporter Matthew Ahn is in the studio now and ready to fill us in on what we can expect for next week weather.
Thanks, Emily and Matthias. Tonight will be the night to spend time outside as temperatures will be in the lower 60s. On our day off of school tomorrow, we will have a nice day with mostly cloudy skies with temperatures in the high 70s, so take advantage and get outside as this might be the last warm day of the year. Looking into the weekend, unfortunately for both days we will have lots of rain and it will be a lot cooler as temperatures will be in the 50s and dropping into the 30s in the evening. Next week, temperatures will be in the 40s throughout the week. The good news is most of the week will be mostly sunny. For Halloween night on Tuesday, temperatures will be in the mid to lower 30s with mostly clear skies. It seems like these temperatures are here to stay for the rest of October and the start of November. Emily, Matthias, back to you.
Thanks for the weather report, Matthew. I'm glad the beginning of the week looks a little bit better than last week.
For sure. I know our band had a difficult time at Ben Davis with all that wind.
Well, that didn't stop them. Speaking of, it's time for another edition of Behind the Curtain with Rowan Walsh.
Welcome back to Behind the Curtain. First off, a big congratulations to the Homestead Spartan Alliance band, who competed at the semi-state competition at Ben Davis this past weekend. They gave a fantastic performance, securing their spot in state. This will be Homestead's 36th year in a row going to the state competition. We're so proud of our Spartan Alliance band, and we can't wait to see them shine at the state level. In other exciting news, a few Homestead Class Royale students had a once-in-a-lifetime experience this past Tuesday. They performed on stage with the legendary band Foreigner at the Coliseum. They sang timeless classic I Wanna Know What Love Is alongside the artists themselves. What an incredible opportunity to showcase their talents and share the stage with such iconic musicians. And now, looking ahead to next week, Homestead's choir concert will be taking place next Monday. The event will include performances from Homestead's concert choir, elite show choir, and Class Royale show choir. The concert will take place in the Homestead Choir Room next Monday at 7 p.m. Thanks for tuning in to Behind the Curtain. If you have any scores, performances, auditions, or anything else pertaining to the performing arts that you'd like to see on the next show, send us an email at the address shown below. For Behind the Curtain, I'm Rowan Walsh. Back to you, Matthias and Emily.
Thank you, Rowan, for the update on our performing arts.
Hopefully all the choir's pitches will be perfect.
Speaking of, there were some perfect pitches at the annual Wiffle Ball tournament that occurred just a week ago.
Reporter Grace Dickmeyer is in now to tell you all about it.
Wiffle ball seems to be popular at Homestead, but is also favored among our less experienced students. Interact Club has been volunteering at various charity events. Wiffle ball is their latest pursuit. The WBA had its third annual Wiffle Ball Spooktacular on October 7th, and Homestead's own Interact Club volunteered.
We partner with the Rotary, and they bring us new opportunities for stuff like this every week. And this is one of the opportunities they brought us for the Wiffle Ball Spooktacular.
The event was a huge success and raised over $50,000. The Spooktacular money raised goes to an important cause.
So the World Baseball Academy, our passion is to try to reach all kids. And we know in our community sometimes there's kids falling through the cracks that maybe they're economically disadvantaged, maybe they're coming from tougher backgrounds. And so our goal is to provide programming for kids that are interested in baseball across all spectrum.
The event consisted of our Interact Club team playing and painting faces.
They have their own players, and we just send in our own players, like 2 or 3 at a time whenever they need some. And we rotate our Interact Club in and out as they need.
The Spooktacular has 16 teams participating this year, all with similar team structures.
Each team has a team captain, and the team captain selected a team, and then that team was fundraising in an effort to help raise funds for the World Baseball Academy for our at-risk programming.
Although the Interact team wasn't the champion, they showed outstanding sportsmanship and spirit and left the other teams with a good impression of Homestead. If you want to get involved with Interact Club or the Rotary, contact this email below. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Grace Dickmeyer.
Hey Matthias, did you know that as the weather starts to get colder, so many local places open up new fall attractions and activities?
I'm interested in learning more. Reporter Caroline Burns is in now to tell us more about several activities that you can do this fall.
Now that we're in fall, you may be wondering what fun things there are to do in Fort Wayne. While many Homestead students already have traditions, it's always good to branch out and try new things.
Hilger's Family Farm is open 7 days a week and hosts many fall favorites, including hay rides, a corn maze, and a pumpkin patch.
I try to make my way to Hilger's at least once a year, get some pumpkins, go through the corn maze, and get some apple cider and stuff like that.
The Fort Wayne Children's Zoo welcomes fall each year with their Wild Zoo Halloween, which goes on every weekend through October. With 40 acres of animals and rides, the zoo also offers trick-or-treating, haunted train rides, and other festive activities.
We have Zulu. We also have a flyer with a bunch of events that we have this month, including Zulu, a bunch of activities on the weekends and stuff like that.
If you're looking for a way to simply enjoy fall, then walking downtown and seeing the leaves change is a great option. Downtown Fort Wayne also has many places like the Botanical Gardens, which has fall displays and events.
So my favorite thing to do during fall is to walk around downtown Fort Wayne and look at all the displays. I also really like to go to the different cafes downtown and to try different fall drinks.
From pumpkin picking, fall at the zoo, walking downtown, trick-or-treating, and so much more, Fort Wayne has countless fall activities. So be sure to check out some of your fellow Spartans' seasonal favorites this fall. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Caroline Burns.
Thank you for the story, Caroline. While we were enjoying fall break, a lot of our sports teams were doing some big things.
That includes a first in school history. Luke Ryan is in now on Down to the Wire to tell us all about it.
Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm Luke Ryan. Over fall break, we saw some impressive action take place in Homestead athletics, and we'll start with a first in school history. Senior Alex Graber and sophomore Eric Jeet rallied from a 5-3 deficit, survived a match point, and won 10 of the last 11 points to win IHSAA Boys Doubles State Championship. They held off Columbus North's double team 5-7, 6-4, and 7-5. This is the first ever boys tennis double state championship in school history. Great job, guys, and congratulations. The girls volleyball team won their 5th straight sectional title during fall break. And in regionals last week, they turned the tides and avenged themselves in a 3-0 set domination against Carroll in the semifinals. In the second set, Homestead was down by 11 points, but they rose up and defeated Carroll, setting the tone for the rest of the match. An exciting championship against last year's 4A state champs, Hamilton Southeastern, who is currently ranked number 3 in the nation, Homestead put up a great battle. Even though this is a loss for Homestead, it was a great accomplishment to give HSE such a fight that only a few teams have given them during this season. To put it in perspective, HSE has only lost 4 sets all year long, and 2 of them were to our Spartans last week. Congratulations to our girls cross country team as they qualified for the state championship meet this Saturday. They finished second in last week's New Haven Regional, which qualifies them for the state meet in Terre Haute. Senior Addison Canablo finished 4th individually to help pace the Spartans. Good luck at state. Also, congratulations to our girls competition co-ed cheer team as they qualified for the state championship on November 4th. The theme for the game tomorrow night is Halloween at 7:30 p.m. and let's support the Spartan football team as they start sectionals against Fishers. Let's hear those chants from out of the stadium. That'll do it for this week's edition of Down to the Wire. Thanks for watching. Back to you, Emily and Matthias.
Thank you, Luke, for the sports update. This has been HHS In Depth. Make sure to check our socials for updates on the HHS Depth team and our upcoming projects.
We hope to see you out there tomorrow for the home football game against Fishers.
Don't forget the theme is Halloween, so wear something spooky.
Have a great 3-day weekend, Homestead, and we'll see you back here again next week.